Hello, and thanks for tuning in to tonight's matchup. We've got a good one for you. This is going to be Calypso facing off against Precision Esports on Kafe. Alright, now we get started on the ban phase. As things get underway, the first attacker getting taken off the board by Precision Esports is going to be Thatcher. He can be pretty essential for quite a few of these site holds, especially sitting on the basement floor. There's so much destruction in the way of those hard walls that Thatcher ban will be pretty essential to how this gets played out. Thatcher coming off the board next. Now that's not too surprising, as this map does allow for quite a bit of roaming. So if they look to keep that as effective as they would like to, obviously Jackal getting taken off the board is going to aid them in that scenario. We see Mira get taken out next. As once again, not much to be said for Mira. She is just so influential on any site she touches. She is a common pick for teams to ban, as those mirror or two-way windows can just be too much to deal with in many cases for the attacking team. And for the final ban here, we see Valkyrie. It is as expected, typically some type of intel ban getting taken out in the ban phase here. So we will more than likely see a good bit of Mozzie and or Maestro, Echo. There is many options when it comes to that intel utility. On the side of defense, we're gonna get started off here and head on up to Bar Cocktail Lounge. It's typically a pretty default site, though teams have been bouncing back and forth between the basement and top floor. I'd say it's more often than not gonna go to the top floor in the first set of rotation. Nothing too crazy coming out from the defense here. We did see Goyo for a moment, but he will get switched off to the castle. So barricades can be quite useful in slowing down the attackers as they try to make their way in. And Maverick's going to hop onto Thermite. Once again, not very surprising. He is a pretty essential instrument in taking that top floor, as you'll most of the time see teams work onto that red stair, open up piano, and then often look to open up freezer afterwards, as that allows for a pretty deep angle, not only into sight, but also gives you that rotation to plant behind the cocktail bar. Alright, we do see the hatch getting opened up in Cigar here. Where these castle barricades get placed.
10 seconds to insertion. 5 seconds to insertion.
Alright.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a
Pretty
bomb.
nice setup on site here, as they've got quite a few rotations opened up here for the defenders to make their way freely around this site, or as safely as possible. Good placement on utility, as they do have players positioned closely by when it comes to these mute traps and or ADSs. Gonna make it a lot harder for the attackers to deroute them as they try to grab control over the top floor. They're gonna get to work on red stair immediately though, and Sophia is looking pretty eager to drop and get things underway for the attacking team here. We'll punch holes into Cigar. They're gonna have to be careful, as the Ella is playing this pretty aggressive. She looks like she's eager and ready for a gunfight. They do have two players stacked on top of red now. This could be quite big for the Ella if she times this properly. Ooh, just narrowly missing her opportunity there, but Sophia is primed and ready at this point, so getting over aggressive could backfire this moment. Flashes are going to come out, but the ADS is prompt to stop them. They're not going to get the shield, and actually trying to get the shield. Sophia's going to go down. That's a huge pick for the Ella as she looks for another. Oh, the rotate coming out. She's going to drop down from Cigar. Now, more than likely, they did hear this. They do have a player looking down that way now. IQ waiting for any possible flanks, but if I were to take a guess, he's going to play that pretty safe, make his way up white. Ella's still sitting on that first floor here. They did send one of the attackers here to see if they can't flush her out. Give them some type of relief when it comes to the pressure here, as they do feel a blip flustered, it seems, but they do get that piano wall opened up finally. It's going to give them control over piano, give them a little bit more wiggle room to work with here. They need to find the opening pick onto one of these defenders, as we're at 4v5 with about a minute left here. And though they've made decent progress up into that piano site, they still got a lot of work to do if they want to get this plant off. Legion position on white. The defenders really just need to play smart at this point with the body count in their favor. See IQ send a few shots off into Freezer, and we do a little bit of damage. Actually, not going to do any damage. As Ella's the only one who's feeling any type of pain right now, and IQ is actually going to take it out from a nice bullet hole angle on the bar area. We're going to see Thermite try to get involved, but Kevin finds a pick. Thermite goes down now. That's Diffuser, and Nomad is sitting at rather low health at this point, as she is cornered by the entire defensive team, and that's a flawless round for Precision as they start this half strong. Putting a flawless round as your opening statement in this matchup can definitely hide the momentum in your favor. As I said, though, that is one of the stronger sites in the rotation, though, so we're going to see them head down to Kitchen as expected, though we do see teams bounce up into the mining and or library area now. As a newly available site, we still see a lot of teams kind of figuring their way out, or figuring out their way around the rotation of this map. As it was just recently reworked not too incredibly long ago, but anyways. The Kafe switching off onto Castle. They seem to just keep that pick fresh. Castle being so strong, though, as he did close off quite a few basic angles that attackers would normally get to work on pretty early. Top of that, with their ADSs being placed well, it made things a bit harder for the attackers there. As Sophie got dispatched early on, they didn't really have much in the way of soft destruction.
Bomb located by attackers.
They will have the Kayad for some type of hard denial here. So he will have to be choosy with where he puts those electro claws, as I imagine one might go on the freezer hatch, and more than likely one will go on a bakery wall.
10 seconds remaining.
We don't see any intel ops other than the Legion here. So those goo mines will give out the position of the attackers that happen to step on that needle. But beyond that, they're going to have to rely on default cams, maybe a few bulletproofs as well. That option is readily available on a few of the ops they have chosen. They're just outside the barricade there. So they heard the rappel, they're going to go ahead and mark that and get calls to the teammates. We have Jaeger playing a pretty aggressive position on Kafe here. Now this is relatively common. Its success is extremely variable. You will have to play this in a very smart manner in order for that to work out, as the attacking teams are quite used to seeing a Jaeger try to root himself within that cafe or bakery area. So we see a top down here as they look to grab control over this top floor. Shut off any late roams coming from this area at least. Sophia looks towards pillars, trying to catch anybody rotating through that mining area. So it's a pretty deep angle there from balcony. Nomad's working her way down white stairs as well, so a pretty nice pace getting set by the attacking team here, though they haven't ran into much contention. So whether or not they'll be able to keep that up once the gunfights pursue, we've yet to see, but that's going to be a nice C4 coming out from Sea-Dog. That's going to get the first kill on the board for the defenders here. They look to continue their momentum off that flawless round, and prior, they grab the opening pick here. We hear the X-Kairos coming out. Seems as though they have chose to put it on the bakery wall here to hopefully flush out the player within bakery, and they're able to. He's going to back up into prep, safely position himself to re-engage the attackers later on in this round. But Sea-Dog finding another kill. It's 2 on the round for him. 3! Make it 3 kills for the TCSG. Or, my apologies. He did actually pick one of those up with the C4, so 2 for the TCSG. Still nothing too shabby whatsoever coming out from Sea-Dog here. He looks to continue the momentum, but Jaeger was taken down, so no chances for a flawless round this time as Sea-Dog actually falls to Josh. That's going to be the Habana grabbing a pick. Now we're looking at a 2v3. The mountain became climbable rather quickly.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Nomad finds another. That's going to be a 2v2 as Rakos is going to need to be careful. They're aware of his position inside Coates, and Kevin picks up a kill onto Josh. Gonna rotate over into main door and hopefully catch the defenders off guard. And he may have been able to just trick one, but he will not trick two, because Kevin is prepped and ready for the push. So another pretty decisive round there, though the attackers did look like they might piece together that round. Final moments bringing it back to a 2v2, but giving away their position while doing so, and just unable to piece together the final parts of the puzzle. Alright, so we head to Reading Room, Fireplace, Hall. As they look to clean up with a flawless rotation. Calypso's definitely going to want to stagger their confidences. Defense seems to be building steam. Capcane switches off onto Castle. We have come to expect this at this point, as most of their lineup stays relatively similar, but we do see Sea-Dog on the Mozzie here. It's working in tandem with the mutes. He will be able to deny quite a bit of that drone game. The intel is also crucial for the attackers. Probably hamper their push quite a bit. Right, so with these barricades being thrown up top, you got to imagine that they're going to hold on to that top floor for as long as possible. More than likely, with the Jaeger, he'll be supported by more than likely one of his teammates. Rotation's getting opened up into mining.
10 seconds remaining.
I do like to see them keeping up on the rotations, also opening up these walls at ankle height to deny any plants. Soft destruction can be utilized properly. You'd be surprised at how many kills you can get by just opening up a few unsuspected angles onto those attackers. In fact, we saw quite a bit of that in last night's matchup, as the defenders had opened up quite a few vertical angles and caught the attacking team off guard. So, only goes to show how powerful that can be. Jaeger's going to play pretty aggressively under the skylight here. And he's up top here with the smoke. Now, interesting choice to keep the smoke up top, as he is a pretty essential operator to have in the final moments of the round for the defense, as he able to deny just so much presence from the attacking team. Nonetheless, they will have him up top with the Jaeger. He's actually going to be playing this pretty aggressive. Been able to do quite a bit of damage as the smoke thus far. He peeks out, sends a few pre-fires the way of Zofia, but he's not going to find anything just yet. U-Trap does get taken out though, and Zofia's actually going to get pretty aggressive here. Try to catch him off guard with an odd angle. Not before the smoke canister comes out and denies him for just a moment. That's going to be Jaeger finding a pick though. Behind the shield here, this is a pretty strong position for the defender. He has a nice little angle opened up between the shield and the bar there. IQ's going to push on in, but she's actually going to find a nice pre-fire onto Jaeger as he tries to peek up. And he'll get punished for it. Time going down, Kevin falling as well, so immediate top floor control in those few seconds there that elapsed. Now they have plenty of time to start opening up some angles onto the defenders within sight. This entire ceiling being soft, they're going to be able to put a lot of pressure on them before trying for that execute. They will have to make sure that they keep up on time though, as it is so easy to lose track of the round and let things get by you here. So the defenders are just going to play this smart. They're going to sit on the second floor. Make sure the attackers come to them. That's going to be a drone going the way of the defenders now, as he might be able to throw that in a substantial position to grab some intel for the defense here. Will be sitting on that drone, as a matter of fact, looking to grab any possible calls for his team. Dude's gonna sit tight. Knows he's got a player trying to approach from the door, but he also has one on hatch. That's Josh finding or Sly finding a pick there. That's two on the run for Habana, I believe. They're gonna get into an engagement here through the floor, but nobody coming out on top just yet, as IQ is able to put a few rounds into the mute though. He's gonna be looking at rather low health as we sit at a 2v3. The plant's going down. They've got the vertical support here to do it, but neither of them are looking at the flank. Mute might be able to find a big pick here. There's one flank's on over. Rankos is able to find a pick, but that's 2 kills for the defense here. Now we're looking at a 1v1 on double zeros. Will the mute be able to find the pick? He was just not around to stop the plant from going down, so we're looking at a relatively equal situation here. 1v1. Nomad does sit at full health. Time is on her side as she just needs to sit tight. The bomb timer ticks down.
Defenders have located the
Ooh, and that's going to be the air jab, costing the Mute the round. So we saw a nice flank coming out from the defenders there as they were able to grab 2 picks. But nonetheless, that is going to be a round win for Calypso as they find their first victory at the quarter mark of this matchup. And that'll at least stagger the momentum coming out from Precision at this point, as they were looking to clean up with a flawless rotation, but they head back to Bar Cocktail Lounge. We're looking at a 2-1. Right, so the only forms of intel once again coming the way of trap operators for Precision. You seem to be pretty confident in that lineup. Hopefully IQ will be able to dispatch some of those traps before the attackers wander into them unknowingly.
attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
So Castle, though it may seem he has not played the biggest role in this matchup in terms of frags, those barricades definitely have been shutting down some basic angles for the attacking teams. Whether or not those were angles that they were pushing at the time, not too sure, but nonetheless, shutting down those basic angles and giving the attackers fewer options to push from is just going to put your team in a better position to take those gunfights. Right. Attackers look to hold on to the success that they found in that last round and bring it up here to Bar Cocktail. They will probably have to take control over Piano a lot quicker this time, as it did take them about 2 minutes to enter Piano last time. And even when they did so, it was on a back foot and not looking that great. So they're going to look to get in there, take control a lot earlier, and hopefully start dispatching some of the utilities. We're going to see the castle barricade get taken down right away, and that's going to cause the Ella to get exposed as she gets picked off early within Cigar. Going to give them a good bit of control here, and they might be able to walk freely on into Piano. But they do only have a Habana this round. So she does have the X-Kairos pellets set up there. As we see, I imagine there's a mute jammer on the wall. You will typically see some form of hard denial in that position. Time's been mighty effective from this cocktail area here as he looks to continue that. He's gonna have to be careful though, as they might be looking to pre-fire that bullet hole if they've learned anything from their last mistake. But they can be quite hard to spot. That's gonna be Zofia going down, but is going to slowly crawl away in hopes of being picked up by another teammate, as she will only be sitting at 5 health if she decides to withstand. It's gonna be the Ella being picked. We're looking at a 5v4, and Sophia does withstand here, it seems, so she will be sitting at 5 health. IQ finds a pick on the time. Bri finds a pick on the sly. Things are getting out of control here, folks, as we look at a 4v3. Count still in favor of the attacking team here, but you definitely don't want to give away your body count, especially not to mistakes like that. Be careful, though. Are looking pretty aggressive there in that cocktail area. The castle. They're all tucked neatly into position, but that might allow the attackers to isolate them in the way, shut down those crossfires. So, and we are seeing that now as the castle's just not in a position to back up the mute here, and the attackers start to close in. But there is going to be a nice pick on the sledge. The mute is a cornered animal right now, and he's going to take 2 picks, but not before he gets traded back out finally by Shrady. The castle finds a pick onto the IQ though, and we're looking at a 1v1. Nomad is able to do a little bit of damage, or actually no, she's going to take damage herself. She's going to back off the cigar balcony, hopefully throw out a drone and grab a little bit of intel. Only 20 seconds left here. She's going to have to make this push rather quickly.
15 seconds to go.
Castle just needs to play this smart. He holds out for time. He can win this round. He's going to come out. He's going to get an easy pre-fire, and the castle clutches out this round. Really nicely done from the defenders there, as the mute was able to grab 2 huge picks laying down in the back of Freezer, literally on his last leg, and he's able to find those 2 picks before getting traded out by IQ. Distracted, the castle was able to capitalize on that pick as well, which put him in a 1v1. Very doable situation when the attackers do not have diffuser in hand. So another win at Cocktail Bar for the defensive team. They carry momentum at a 3-1. We're gonna head down to kitchen service as expected. Second most successful site thus far. So we do see the thermite coming out this round, as the X-Kairos pellets definitely limited them on their way of breach.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they
You
can.
have to be pretty accurate if you're even going to get one of those X-Kairos at crouch level. It does make it possible for the attackers to move through at crouch level, but rather hard to place. And we all know those X-Kairos pellets can be rather finicky at times. Alright, so they look to repeat the success that they found last time. Be interesting to see if Habana gets to work on that Kafe wall that helps the Jaegers sit behind the bakery there a little bit more quickly at this time, or quicker this time, because they were able to do that earlier on. Last time they came here, things might have played out a bit differently, and I don't believe there was any hard breach or hard denial in that area either. Doesn't seem to be a mute over there. They don't have a mute on the board this round. Well, the SAS and almost assume, but we're going to see smoke because he is a very, very essential operator in most lineups. Alright. So in terms of utility, we are sticking to traps. Maybe a few cams. We do see a bulletproof cam placed within bakery there, so definitely utilizing their bulletproof cams. Putting the rest of the weight on the shoulder of these trap operators and or default cams. See Nomad getting a few air jabs placed on that second floor there. She will cut off a few rotations, or at least make those rotations known when they happen. So we see quite heavy setup here in bakery, but the attackers have yet to push it. The Cabana might be outside that window, the connector there, looking to get that wall opened up. We are at a minute 45 already. They are getting some vertical destruction done though. Opening up a few angles from mining room. Zofia makes her way down red stairs, so pretty good pace here. So gonna start opening up that wall on bakery, which is gonna flush out the Jaeger. He will no longer be able to safely sit behind that bakery any longer. And the defenders are going to have to be increasingly careful about how they rotate through this site as more and more angles are continually opened up. The round progresses. Looking for any possible picks to that floor. They do get a bit of intel now. I know they have a player position within Christmas. He is going to look to push from the coast. It does look like Legion might be anticipating this. He is already prepped and looking at that angle. We're looking at a 5v5 here with 45 seconds left, folks. The attacking team's going to need to commit to a push here soon. They do have a lot of utility to play with here, but they have stalled out. They gathered a good bit of map control earlier on, started opening up these angles, but were unable to find the opening pick they needed to actually make a push on the site. So with 25 seconds left, we have still yet to see any true push coming up from the attacking team, but they do get a few angles opened up due to the X-Kairos pellets.
15 seconds to go.
A really good position from the Kayad here, as he might be able to punish the attackers as they try to funnel in for a late push. We're gonna see them fall like flies as the defense sits at a 5v2. Air jab comes out from Jaeger. Kevin finds another pick of his own.
Operators, you have run out of time.
And almost finding another flawless round. That's gonna put them at 4-1. The attackers essentially weren't able to find their footing after getting into the map, opening up a few angles, and just unable to execute on the site push there. It did seem that Thermite was not able to find the success of getting that wall open. So Nice holds coming out from the defense here, and things are looking very decisively the way of Precision. But we've still got a whole another half in this matchup here, and things can swap awfully quickly once the teams switch sides. So
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they
we
can.
are looking at the final round of this half here. Calypso's probably looking to put this one in their favor, and they have a good chance of doing so, as this was the site they were able to find their first victory on. So whether or not Precision has made proper adjustments to hopefully stop the attackers in their tracks, we will find out shortly. But Calypso definitely looking to repeat the success that they found on the site earlier. He's going for a rather similar setup here. So this was quite effective for them the last time. The attackers were still able to work out a victory. Time, once again, positioning himself in aggressive angles early on in the matchup, making sure that the attacking team feels his presence the entire time they look to gain access to the map, which, as I have said before, that can be such a strong point of play for the defensive team. It really makes the attackers hesitant to really put any foot forward. Alright, he's gonna have a bit of help in the form of drones coming out from the Mozzie here, as he's been rather successful at grabbing a few of those for his own use. Alright, so the attackers begin the drop. They have Piano at this moment, and they're looking to take control over this third floor as they get to work opening up the freezer, I do believe. Sledge is going to go ahead and push on up. We'll need to be careful as Jaeger was positioned up here. He's still going to be playing behind that shield. Now, they've seen this before. The calls do come out. They should be able to deal with this accordingly. Oh my goodness, another C4 coming out from Sea-Dog. He's been mighty successful with the utility today, or the secondary gadgets rather. But that's going to be Jaeger proving his effectiveness, finding a pick onto that top floor as well. The nade comes out here. ADS is placed in position though, so that will burn one of the nades for the attacking team. When those flashes just not making it in. Oh, it will. That's going to be the Jaeger. He's going to drop. And that'll be Smoke finding a pick though as he comes up and grabs two. Absolutely insane play on his end. That's going to be Sea-Dog finding his second kill of the round. Well done from the Smoke there. Definitely not the play the defense or attackers were expecting. Typically don't see the Smoke getting all that aggressive on a top floor roam, but he will, and it'll pay off. And they head into the second half at 5-1. This has been an extremely defender-sided matchup thus far. We will see if Calypso can carry that pace, as they are now on the defending side. They are at a pretty large deficit. Precision playing extremely well though. As I said, the attackers are having to fight for every bit of ground that they grab getting into those top floors. So I guess they did give away Piano pretty early on. From there out, the defense was pretty in their face with the aggression. And it paid off as we saw Jaeger and Smoke grab 3 kills together up on that top floor. So when your roam is able to grab 3 kills, more than likely the round is going to go the way of the defenders. Nonetheless, Calypso gets started on Bar Cocktail Lounge for their first round of this half. A lot of angles getting opened up vertically here. They will probably have somebody playing on the first floor to capitalize on some of these.
10 seconds left before insertion. 5 seconds to go. Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Them opening up the default plants here. There isn't one that they haven't covered at this point. Be extremely useful, as that will typically make the attackers panic maybe just a tad when they're looking to get that diffuser down. Knowing that there could be a player peeking from underneath will definitely halt them just a bit I'm playing. The Sophia here. He actually looks to engage the Jaeger. It's just hopped off. He's gonna be sitting tight, not doing anything too aggressive behind that shield though. He's actually going to send a few rounds and damage time a little bit. He's gonna be sitting at about 75 health. And look to dispatch that shield now. It's gonna do so successfully and finds a nice pick on the Shrady. Very well done from the Zofia there. Burning any possible ADSs with the first 2 concussions. Now just gonna take out the Evil Eye as well. This is a great use of utility and an early pick for the attacking team as Jaeger falls. That's a large fragging operator off the board for the defense. See Ash playing and Cigaria. She's gonna use that. Go ahead and take out the Evil Eye. That's both of the Evil Eyes down, so they're going to be low on intel unless this Mozzie has been able to find anything in the way of drones, and he does. Rankos finds a pick as well as he puts this at a 4v4. That's a kill for the Legion to open things up for the defending team. Thermite will be getting this freezer wall opened up at about the 1.5 minute mark though, so they are making a very good pace. Putting a lot of pressure on the defense here. You actually have a defender playing in a pretty aggressive position. That'll be Sly. He's tucked just inside the door. Cigar here. If he plays this well, he might be able to catch the attacking team off guard. Josh finds a pick. Tamu with one as well. It's going to be Bry and Sly coming together with 2 picks for the defenders. That's going to put him at a 3v1. That's attacker sitting inside a freezer. Canisters come out. They're aware of it. Bry's able to find the second pick there. That'll shut things down for the attacking team. The defenders are able to take their first round of this half very decisively. Oh boy, as Thermite was just not aware of the other angles opened up, and he's going to be caught with his pants down, looking the opposite way, as that proves to be an easy kill for the Mozzie, and they take their first round on defense. We head into Reading Room Fireplace here. Just going to switch things up, as we saw Precision heading down into Kitchen Service. Almost immediately after both times that they went to Bar Cocktail. And they might be able to catch the attacking team off guard with this pick. As a matter of fact, we see Echo getting off to the Legion. This has been a rather low game for intel odds. We did see the Maestro come out that last round, though those evil Eyes were nullified almost immediately. They were taken off the board by the Ash and Sophia. They had great work in use of their utility. They led Thermite to get that freezer wall open up rather quickly. This time around, we're just going to see a Legion and a Mozzie. That mute Mozzie setup, though, definitely going to prove to be effective in denying intel for the attacking team. Both of these teams utilizing soft destruction in a great way. Especially on a map like this where so much of it is readily available. Definitely like to see teams committing to setups such as this, as they're going to be pretty heavily positioned on the top floor here.
You can stop worrying about grenades now.
Jaeger playing up here. Become a common trend in this matchup at least. We see Mozzie accompanying him, at least for the time being. This gets out a few of those pests to help deny some of those drones. He's gonna have to be careful, as that window has already been broken open. I can see him putting some shots to his windows early on and making sure that the defenders feel that pressure. They're gonna put a little bit of damage onto his smoke there. He's gonna rotate back down safely, as he should. Keep those gas canisters for a later engagement in this round. So that will leave Jaeger and Mozzie up here. Hold down fort. Pretty typical. You even have the Legion on White Stair in order to support them if need be. Let's see the attackers peeking down Skylight here, trying to catch any defenders, possibly taking some aggressive angles early on. But with that, they will go ahead and get to work on the third floor here. Say, take piano. Sophia and Ash look to tag team the defenders. Playing within white here. Legion sending a few shots their way, hoping to make them a bit more hesitant before solidifying their push. We're gonna see the attackers doing a lot of repel work.
Throwing stun grenade.
Be quite useful, especially with a few of the attackers already being inside already. Might be able to catch some of these defenders trying to rotate away. Relative ease, they will already be preoccupied from these entry players. Thermite's gonna go ahead and open up freezer wall. They have slowed down quite a bit. We're still looking at a 5v5. They need to find the opening pick here, and that's going to be an easy way to find it as the toes expose themselves from the Jaeger, and he will fall. The time. I do believe he went down to the IQ there. Nice job. But that's going to be a pick for Bry, and he will go down almost immediately after to the Ash. The body count still leaning in favor of the attacking team here. And to see them opening up some angles vertically, looking onto the defenders, trying to catch him off guard. And they're going to do so as he's able to put a good bit of damage onto the mute there. And Junk actually finds one of his own. That's Thermite finding a pick here. We're looking at 4-2. It's at rather low health. These aren't the best equipped operators for this type of situation, but the SMG-11 is going to punish one. We're looking at 2v3.
10 seconds to go.
That's another down on the defense, but Josh is able to find 2 picks. We're looking at a 1v2 here, and with no diffuser in the hand, or sorry, it is in the hands of the attackers. That's going to be an easy win for the defenders here.
Operators, you are out of time.
Well done from the defense, as we have seen both teams pull off some pretty miraculous stuff in the final moments of this round, especially coming out from the SMG-11, and that is the weapon to have when you are cornered in these tight situations. Very well done, as he was able to find 3 picks, and that left the planner all alone. Double zeros, all he had to do was rotate over, force the planner off, or he had to accept his death in those moments. So we head to kitchen service after a very successful hold on the second floor. They're going to look to make this a flawless rotation and see if they can do what Precision was unable to first half. Very well done start from the attacking team. They were able to get inside piano rather early, some opening picks.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many
But
bombs
after
as they can.
they grabbed a bit of that top floor control, the roam did slow them down a bit. And even with all of the body count leaning in their favor, that was just miraculous plays coming out from the SAS players. SMG-11 proving to be too difficult in those close quarter situations. So you do have to think if the attackers would have just set themselves up properly. That round probably should have gone their way, so they're definitely going to need to play this a bit tighter, because they kind of threw away their body count in the final moments of that round. So they feel like, or as they should feel as if that one slipped through their hands. Two of these drones getting found out from the defending team here.
Defuse a bomb.
There will be no mute Mozzie set up this time around, so the drones should be able to make their way around the map a bit more freely than they were the last time. We're going to see Goyo on the board this time around. He had been bluffed a few times earlier, I do believe, but he had been switched. Interesting to see where those volcanoes got placed, as we see one on the main door here. One in bar as well. Alright, so we see the attackers start to clear out the second floor as drones come out. IQ peeking within mining here. And the entry will go ahead and start to get to work on this floor.
Scanning for electronic devices.
Seems to come out that they are A-OK, at least for the time being. We see all the players from the defending team stationed within sight. Attackers will have free roam of the second floor here. Already in position to get to work on these floors, but they have yet to do so. There we go. Charges coming out. Rage charge will get put down. Defenders will have to be weary from now on out as they make their way around sight. As the attackers begin to sink their teeth into this setup. See the bandit charges getting taken out there. It's going to make this a lot easier when it comes to opening up this wall, but they've yet to deroot the players from Bakery. I'm going to see Jaeger and Bandit playing here. This is an extremely aggressive setup. Thermite's laying down there in that door, looking to catch anybody off guard from that rather odd angle. We're going to see them both droning out now. One going down. I'm not sure if they are aware of the Jaeger's position. We're just not seeing too much in the way of progress from the attacking team just yet, and that's going to be Bandit finding a pick. He opens things up for the defense. Ooh, a nice shot from Sea-Dog though. I had mistaken. I thought that was Jaeger getting taken down, but he's still playing behind the... Ooh, but nonetheless, he will be taken out by a nice shot, and that's going to be Kevin finding a pick with the Nomad. Canisters come out to deny that push from Prep for at least a little bit, but they're going to go on ahead and open up that wall with the exothermic. Alright, so 3v3 with 25 seconds left here. Canisters coming out. Definitely utility to be played with on both sides here. So they even have a volcano sitting on this main entrance. Second team will more than likely have to take this from Bakery, and it's going to be a very nice shot coming out from Kevin as he's able to open this up for his team. They get inside, and now we're looking at a 2v2. Sophia's placed on that main door. Not able to find a pick just yet as Ranko's
5 seconds left.
able to find one, but I don't think they're going to be able to get the plant down in time as the planter was down. Sophia is unable to rotate and grab the diffuser. Unable to find the picks as well, so that round's going to go the way of the defense. So at this point in this matchup, the defense has just been having their ways. That is a flawless full rotation from Calypso, and they're looking to tie things up. Not too long ago, we were looking at a 5-1. And all of a sudden, it is 4-5. They head back to Bar Cocktail Lounge. The attackers have got to be feeling a bit shook as they have lost 3 straight at this point, and the defenders are heading back to one of the stronger sites here. Right, so no 6th pick coming from either team here.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
What you
bombs.
see is what you get. Right, so you will see teams often open up all of these bar counters, especially as that is where most of the plants will be going down. Sometimes they plant behind that hard wall by the freezer there. This gives the attackers a lot less room to work with once they make their way into that cocktail area. Kind of a full send after that point.
10 seconds left.
You can stop worrying about grenades now.
So we do have a Maestro on the board once again.
5 seconds to go.
He gets
Objective is to locate
Evil Eye
a bomb
placed within piano again, though that was dispatched rather quickly from the Zofia last time. We'll switch up the Evil Eye on the second placement of the Evil Eye though. Switch things up in the attackers a bit, so it won't be quite as easy for them to sweep on in and take care of those cams. Eye is getting rather aggressive here, prepping the window on that south rappel. Possibly looking to grab a run out later on. That's going to be Shrady finding a pick there. Jaeger gets a bit of success in the earlier part of this round. And that must have been on the Zofia she repelled up, I had to imagine. She had very quickly taken that gunfight in the round prior. Maybe the Jaeger was anticipating it. This time around, was able to land a nice shot. The windows do get smacked. The other side of piano, though. They will look to clear him out, but things are going to be a bit harder. He's going to have to use the Ash charges to take out the shield now. He has those ADSs placed properly. That could prove to be difficult. But we see them stationed on top of Skylight and Rappel on piano here. They look to gain access over the red stair. We do see Ash drop. And prep a flash, looking to take care of that ADS. Jaeger is aware of this. He's probably going to back off. Ooh. Unfortunately, going to miss that second flash grenade. She'll have to toss that third. Very narrowly missing a gunfight from that Jaeger. He's actually able to down Capital. Will safely rotate back, though. Is a wise decision at this point. C4 just barely missing there. I had to imagine that that was Bry from underneath trying to grab a big pick for the defenders there, but unable to do so, just narrowly missing his chance. Capital will now sit at 20 health. Might's gonna go ahead and open up the left side of piano now. Left of the freezer wall. That will still open up. position to plant. They will be aware of a player within freezer though. Angles also opened up from like a cocktail, so they will have to be careful as they look to make that push. All right, Ash is going to take the aggressive play here. He's going to put Sly down. And a little chunk of that wall getting opened up there. The Thermite go ahead and put the plant down, but he's actually going to get taken out as Mozzie was able to rotate right in front of the Ash, but she is able to grab a second kill. She'll have to put the plant down now for her team, but she's going to fall.
10 seconds left.
Things are looking mighty rough for the attacking team here. Shrady and Rankos pick up 2 picks, and that'll be a second or a third for Shrady on that round, as he played very dominant in that upstairs hold. Well done from the defenders. We're sitting at 5-5. From the looks of that first half, this is rather unexpected. So, Precision is going to need to make some adjustments here rather quickly. Calypso is priming themselves to take the lead. So we head to Reading Room Fireplace. They're going to stick to the same rotation. And honestly, if it's not broken, do not fix it. Nothing to disagree with here. They will be bringing the echo. No, they will be switching once again. Mute smoke setup was pretty efficient for them in that last time we saw them play in Reading Room Fireplace. Though I would say that was maybe more on the mistakes of the attacking team than it was the success of the defenders there. Once again, we'll see them invest heavily in that upstairs room. Both teams have found a lot of success with it, so no point to stop now. It's a very pivotal point to grab control over that top floor, because without putting any pressure on the team vertically, it's going to be rather hard to get your teeth into the site.
5 seconds to insertion.
The defenders will pretty much just be able to set up any default angles and pick off the attackers as they make their way in. With that being said, that's why we see both attacking teams investing so heavily in the top floor. A rather similar setup coming out from the defense that we saw last time they came here. I want to see the attackers get to work quickly once again as they're putting pressure on those players. Knowing that those angles are opened up, that's a rather smart idea to send a few pre-fires that way. You will see Smoke and Mute hop on drones immediately after that as they felt the attacking team's presence almost immediately. Running out the top floor here, Zofia maybe being a little bit less aggressive. She was picked off early on in the last round by Shrady.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
Alright, Ash making her way in though.
I'm out.
Has had some rather effective rounds for the team thus far.
Attackers bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Making the aggressive plays that they needed.
Time to make a new door.
Alright, so Thermite gets to work on the freezer wall. One of the defenders is going to go ahead and drop back down to sight. Juck's able to find a pick though with the AUG. That's going to be another pick. Time ticks or tacks onto this one. Sophia finds her first pick of this round. We're already looking at a 4v5. Ash does go down. She's going to be able to get picked back up here. She does have some friendlies nearby. They're going to go ahead and get to work on the vertical gameplay here. They got a minute left. Plenty of time to do so. 2 players above and count. So this round could potentially be sealed up for them here. And this could be the first win for Precision on attack. But they will have to play this smart, as we did see them throw away a pretty convincing lead last time they ventured into the site. So they will have to tighten things up on the execute. But nonetheless, they are definitely primed and in proper position to do so. The canisters coming out here, hoping to take a bit of gas through the floor there, more than likely, as they have opened up quite a few angles. He's going to toss another canister out the door there. See, here's them both drop from balcony. Ooh, aggressive play coming up in the smoke here, but it's not going to pay off as he's just barely missing both of those attackers. Thermite will be able to find the pick. That's Kevin attacking onto his already pretty impressive performance, but the Mute's going to find a pick onto him. SMG-11 proving to be quite deadly. Once again, we're looking at a 2v4 in the defense. Repeat what they were able to do the first time around.
Attackers have recovered their defuse. 10 seconds left.
Baker's in position to stop the play here. He's looking to make the late flank. He's going to find one. Pre-fire's coming out through the bookshelf, but he's not going to be able to find it. There's a player up top vertically. He doesn't see the player laying down. Unfortunately, a dead body. Covered up the attacker there. Well done from the attacking team. It did seem as though maybe the defenders had a chance to pull something together in the final moments there, but the attackers finding both the picks they needed, applying pressure in the proper positions. So that's going to be the first win for Precision on attack. And they couldn't have picked a better time to do it, as we were sitting up 5-5 and Calypso was very close to taking lead and potential match point. But we will see that go the way of Precision. So they now have a chance to shut this out before heading into overtime. This possibly be the last round of regulation in this matchup.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Right, so they will head back to Reading Room Fireplace as they feel they just needed a slight adjustment to win that. Though I may take a stance to disagree, as in both times they've come here, they've sat at a 2v4 in the later stages of the round, and things looked very much the way of the attackers. The only reason they were even able to pull things back in a relative manner was just due to a few slip-ups from the attacking team. And honestly, that last round very much the way of the attackers. They were playing for trades and doing so successfully in the final moments of that last round. Both teams getting use out of every bit of utility there, as we see barricades going up. They're opening up plenty of angles with soft destruction, getting a bunch of utility